Now we're going to practice writing piecewise functions. So in these situations, I'll give you the graphs, and we need to write the equations of each section and put it together as a piecewise. When we're doing this, the first thing we're going to do is determine the number of rows that we need based on the number of sections. If there are two different lines in our piecewise function, we're going to have 2 rows in our equation. Then we're going to pick 2 points in each section to find the slope of that section, and then write the equation for that section in slope-intercept form. And then finally, we're going to figure out the interval of the x values, where we need to pay attention to the holes so that we know if we need to put strictly less than or strictly greater than, or if there aren't any holes, we'll just put less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Here we go. Starting with this line on the left, noticing we have 3 lines, I'm going to pick 2 points that are on this line and write the equation of just that line. So it looks like we're going to go through -2, -1, and -1, 1. To find our slope, that's rise over run. Since this is going in the positive direction, we're going to have a positive slope. From one point to the other, we're going to go up 1, 2, and to the right 1, so we have a slope of 2 over 1, which is 2. So we're going to start with 2x, and then we're going to see where we cross the y-axis. So here's that intersection, and that's at 3, so we're going to put plus 3. Now we need to pay attention to where our x is going to be. So here, we have an arrow pointing to the left, so we have all of the x values that are less than some number. And that number, that x value, the highest x value that this graph gets to is 1. And there's a hole there, so we want every single x value that is strictly less than 1. We don't want to be equal to 1, we don't want anything bigger than 1. We're just looking at this line whenever x is less than 1. Now for the blue line, the only 2 points that we can really choose from are 1, 1 and 2, 0. So from there, this one's negative. This one went up 1 and to the left 1, so our slope is -1. So we're going to start with -x. And then although this doesn't actually cross the y-axis, we're going to figure out where it would if this line were extended. So I'm going to keep on going until I get to the y-axis, using that same slope of -1. So up 1 over 1, we're already at the y-axis, that's at 2. So plus 2. Then what x values do we care about for this line? We care about all of the x values that are between 1 and 2 and include 1 and 2. So here, this happens if we've got the lowest x value this could be is 1, is less than or equal to, because it's a filled-in circle, x, which is less than or equal to another x value of 2. The last line we have, this is a horizontal line at the y value of 3, so we can just put 3. It's not going to have x in our answer. Remember, if it's a horizontal line, our equation is just y equal to a number. And where is that happening? What x values? So here, the lowest x value for this green line is at 2, but this time there's a hole, and then we want everything that's bigger than that. We've got an arrow going on forever, so this is happening if x is greater than 2. Now let's figure out our domain and range. Domain is from left to right. An arrow is going to the left, so we're starting at -infinity. And then we keep going, we get to 1, 1 has a filled-in circle, keep going to 2, 2 has a filled-in circle, keep going on forever, so this goes towards infinity. Then our range is from low to high. The lowest this graph gets is -infinity. And then we're going to keep going up. And this stops at 5. There's nothing higher than 5, and there's a hole there, so we're going to put 5 and parentheses. Let's do another one. Again, we're going to have 3 sections, so we have 3 lines we need to fill in. For the red section, I see the point -3, 0 and -4, 1. That has a slope of -1, so we're going to start with -x. Then we're going to see where this would cross the y-axis if it extended that far. So using that slope of -1, we're going to keep going until we get to the y-axis. That happens at -3. So our equation is -x minus 3. And the x values that we care about for this line are from -3 to the left forever. So this is happening if x is less than or equal to, because it has a filled-in circle, -3. The blue section is a horizontal line, so we're just going to have a number. That number is 2. And this is happening for every x value that's in between -3 and 1. It doesn't include -3 or 1. So we're going to put that's if -3 is strictly less than x, which is strictly less than 1. Then for the green section, we can use the point 1, 3, and 2, 7. So our slope is going up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. So our slope is 4. So we have 4x. Then let's see where we would cross the y-axis. Keep using that slope of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the left 1 is -1. And that's happening at the x values that are greater than or equal to the x value of 1. So it's x is greater than or equal to 1. Our domain, going from left to right, we're not having to make any jumps in our x values, so we've got -infinity to infinity. For our range, the lowest that this graph gets is at the y value of 0. There's a filled in circle, so we're going to put our bracket going from 0, and then starting there we have this arrow going upward forever, so this is going towards infinity.